lifted heavier than I ever have. I ate more protein than I thought I could. I followed a program specifically for women 40 and up that I love, by the way. And then I got my results. And honestly, they weren't what I expected. So in today's video, I'm sharing the truth about my experience the last 4 months trying to build more muscle in my 40s, the program I used, the results from my body composition test. I'm even having a conversation with my friend, nutritionist/trainer, and what I'm doing next. Because on my channel, I love to help you try new things so that midlife can be a season of sparkle and not settling. At the beginning of 2025, I was determined to be stronger than I ever have been after I found Dr. Stacy Sims' book. I even put it on my vision board. It took a few months to begin to wrap my head around everything she was recommending women in midlife do. And shortly after that, I began working out heavier and eating more protein on my own at home. Then 4 months ago, I stopped winging it and I decided to try Dr. Stacy Sims' collaboration workout program with Hailey Happens called Power Happens. And I started lifting and working out with more intention and focus. Because let's just be honest, Dr. Stacy Sims and everything she shares for women our age is a game changer. And I was so excited because no more guessing. I wanted to get strong, gain muscle, and actually see results. So I committed. Heavy lifting 3 times a week, 2 days off, a few sit sessions, which is sprint interval trainings thrown in there. And I began eating between 135 and 145 grams of protein a day. And y'all, I even did something that I've never done before, which is take a body composition test. So I took one before the program started and I took one at the end of the program. More on that in a minute. I did Power Happens Intermediate because there's a beginner, intermediate, and advanced. The program itself was so smart and progressive. It's honestly my favorite program I have ever done. And aside from being sick for 1 day and missing a day, I completed every single workout that the program gave me. Even when I was on vacation in Ohio, I got a free pass to a gym, and I have never been able to say that before. So this 12-week program is actually on Hailey Happens app, and there are some free sample workouts from the program in there if you want to check those out. It's broken up into 4 different phases with a focus on lifting heavier and resting more and not burning out. So there's going to be new programming every 3 weeks. There's 2 to 4 strength training days, 2 days of HIIT and or sprint interval training. You actually get to choose which one you want to do for cardio, as well as core and mobility work. And she has a mix of low and high rep ranges. And Hailey, the great thing about Hailey is she has over 20 years experience in training, and she's worked with, I believe, thousands of women. I love that she focuses on women 40 and up specifically. You can do these workouts at home or in the gym. You can do it for 30 minutes or 60 minutes. They give progressive overload instructions. The app is super user-friendly, and if you ever need support, they have an awesome Power Happens Facebook group where you can ask questions, and I'm not kidding you. The women in that group are so supportive and encouraging, and it's so great to see everybody's testimonials and before and after pictures. But also, if you have a question, they are super responsive, and I love that. They also have some nutrition guidelines from Dr. Sims, as well as recordings of Zoom sessions with Dr. Sims and Hailey Happens, and you're able to get on future Zoom calls as well. The course is $199, and you do have access to the course once you are done finishing the course. You can just go ahead and start it all over again if you want. So while I was doing the course, I also upped my nutrition game. So I was eating about the 1 gram of protein per body weight that Dr. Stacy Sims recommends. I wasn't obsessive. I was the most intentional I ever have been. I no longer was working out fasted. I ate between 15 and 20 grams of protein before my workout, as well as between 30 to 40 grams of protein after my workout. And I have stopped skipping meals, even on busy days. I love the app. I love the way the app is set up because you can see what's coming. You can see alternate. So like if you don't have certain machines or certain weights, they have alternate versions that you can choose. I love that they have a place to track your measurements inside of the app. So I put in my measurements before I started the program, as well as my measurements after the program. I love the support because there were times when I realized maybe I was doing something wrong, or maybe I had a question about something, and I could either ask inside the app or I could ask on the Facebook group. And just knowing there was someone there that would actually answer my question was really great. The thing I love the absolute most about this program is that before I did this program, I was trying to figure out how to fit in the plyometric or the jump training that Dr. Stacy Sims suggests, the sprint interval training that Dr. Stacy Sims suggests, as well as the heavy lifting. And mobility work. I was trying to figure out how to fit this into each of my days, not have my workouts be too long, and make sense of all of it. And Power Happens made sense of that for me. So a lot of times they might do jump training as a warm-up to my lifting day, or they might incorporate jump training into the sprint interval training. They would even build in your rest time. So for me, that was great because I knew I was resting the right amount. In the past, when I would have typically done a workout video, I would have, gone the whole time, gone the whole 45 minutes, or if I had a workout printed out on paper, I was not good about resting. And as we've learned, and you may not know yet, but as we age, we need that longer rest time for muscle reasons, but also for hormone reasons. So that for me was really, really helpful. The numbers that we're gonna look at for my first body composition test are the dry lean mass, which was 27.3, the BMI, which is 24, and the percent body fat, which is 30.8. And I guess the healthy range there is 25% to 31%. So I was right on the cusp of being close to not healthy, which seems really crazy, but 30.8 is where I was at for that. My weight, not caring so much about that. My weight on this test is 148.6. I went into this knowing I would most likely weigh more after because I upped my protein, upped my fat, upped my carbs because I was definitely under eating for my age. And so I really wasn't so much focused on the weight.
I have to admit, I always feel a little ridiculous taking measurements, but it is a good way to see progress. So I did make sure and get my measurements before. And, I don't think I've done this for over a year since I did my walking video, but there's my before measurements. And I'm pretty happy to say that everything dropped in my areas that I would love them to.
Well, I would say that was encouraging. Good to see. So when I went back for my second body composition test, here's what it showed. Not much had changed. My percent of body fat went from 30.8 to 31.3. My dry lean mass was exactly the same at 27.3. And my bot mass went up just under a pound. And my weight went up just under a pound. I was just totally shocked because probably by about week 6 of the program, I really started feeling different. Like when I walk, I feel less jiggle. I know that sounds ridiculous, but for the girls with thicker thighs, you know what I mean. After, processing and rambling on with my son, I had a realization. I'm like, you know what this doesn't measure, Max? He's like, what, Mom? I go, it doesn't measure like that I've gotten stronger. Yeah, it might not show that I didn't gain any muscle, but it doesn't show like how much strength I've gained. It doesn't show the fact that I started doing shoulder presses at 40 pounds and now I'm doing it at like 60 pounds. Like it doesn't show that. So my body fat percentage didn't drop dramatically. I didn't gain a ton of muscle. And the fact that it was almost the same was like really discouraging, if I'm honest. I didn't realize that I had expectations going into this test. And I'm not a test girl. Like, this is my very first time doing that. I typically will work out to feel good. And like that still remains the same. But if I'm honest, I came home and Fred's in the driveway and he's like, babe, what's up? Like, how did it go? Like, I said, it didn't change. Like literally nothing like changed. And he's like convinced there's something wrong with the scanner, with the in-body composition thing. And I think more than anything, I thought, geez, was I going crazy? Like, was I just feeling like I was changing and I wasn't really changing? But after a couple hours of processing, we ended up getting into, ChatGPT. And this is what it showed.
Okay, so I put both of my body composition tests in. And I basically told ChatGPT what I have been doing for the last 12 weeks and why would my muscle not increase and my fat not decrease. And so it gave me a ton of information, but it also, I thought this was interesting that muscle protein synthesis is less efficient after 40, and it can take 4 to 6 months of consistent progressive overload and recovery to see changes. And that I'm likely stronger and lifting more, but it hasn't yet translated into measurable new muscle mass. And then I uploaded my measurements. Okay, so it's showing that visible body composition progress has happened, and that I've lost inches of fat, especially in the belly area, which is the hardest and most stubborn place post menopause and obviously pre-menopause too. I've had a 2.5-inch drop at my waist, which reflects core tightening, likely from fat loss. And even though the in-body didn't show major changes, your tape measure and mirror clearly do. So I will take that fat redistribution, waist tightening, and it does show that body recomp has started. So this is encouraging.
So after I read what ChatGPT said, it started to make sense. Because I have great friends, I wanted to bring in someone I trust, someone that is in my age group, someone that would be willing to talk to us, my friend who is a nutritionist and trainer at an amazing CrossFit place in Iowa called CrossFit Smoke Show. I wanted an opportunity for us to get a little bit of an understanding, because I know I'm not the only one who's going through this, and I know I'm not the only one who's felt this way. All right. Hey, friends. So Kamille, I'm so grateful that you're getting on with us today. Yeah. Camille's a CrossFit coach, and she's a nutritionist, and she has had a awesome rock solid bod since I've pretty much known her. I remember a trip we took to Nashville, and you were tracking macros, and it was my very first, I can't use the right word, occurrence, being around someone who's tracked macros. And I'm like, explain this to me. I'm like, wait, you're eating more? And then you're going to eat less? I don't understand.
Wow.
So as you know, my body composition test came back a little surprising. And I know this happens to a lot of people. So what might a woman over 40 who thinks she's doing everything right, especially if she's following all the new stuff that Stacy Sims is putting out there. Why is she not going to see, why is anyone not going to see results after 12 weeks? 40?
Oh, girl. It kind of starts, for me, it started a little before 40, after my third baby, who is now 10. It was like my body wasn't listening to me anymore. All the things I'd done before, until 40, kind of just it didn't work as well. And then after I turned 40, and then 41, 42, it's I don't know what's happening here anymore, and you met, when you were talking about the macros, that was 8 years ago, right? I can't believe I've been doing it that long, but what worked then even would be different than what works today.
I mean, for the majority of clients, 12 weeks, is that early for them to be seeing results on tests or scale or muscle gain? And what would you say is more ideal,
right,
as time passing of doing the things?
Right.
You don't even have to name all the things.
So what I would say is, it's kind of like when we have babies, it took 9 months to get there, and we expect our bodies to be back to normal in 2 or 3 months, and it's that doesn't work, right? And I think what you shared with me was your body composition, and you're but I have been under eating for 10 to 20 years, and it's same thing. Just because you've started to feed yourself well now doesn't mean your body understands this is going to continue, because what you've taught yourself, and what we as a generation, I think, and the generation before, is, I just eat less. And it's no, we can't eat in deficit at all times and convince our body just slim up. No, our body has requirements. And the basic will be met, and then everything else will just suffer. And so it's 12 weeks. I won't actually work with anybody for less than 12 weeks. I am like, I require whenever like a nutrition client comes on, I require a minimum of 3 months.
Awesome.
And at the end of that, I'm like, and you've just started. I'm
Yeah.
sorry. I'm sorry, but you've just started, because what you're doing is actually like reverse dieting. So, you've said, what I've in our conversations, your protein, right? Like you're focused on protein, which is fantastic.
Yep.
I was running your numbers. You sent them to me, and I was just looking like, how would that fall into the category if you were one of my clients? Where would you fit? You fit in that like maintenance, which is fantastic. You're actually feeding yourself.
I was just going to ask you, do you feel like after a period of time when women start eating the amount that they should, does that positively affect their hormones?
Yes.
Okay.
I would say that is something personally. I have felt that personally. I wouldn't say client wise, I would say personally. The menopause, I think is the name of it, is a book. It's like menus, and then it's like sounds like menopause. I'm pretty sure that's the name of it. That's a great one to help figure out like, okay, if fermented foods is going to do us wonders. I'm not a big fermented foods person, so I struggle with that. Sauerkraut, I wish I loved it. Jason wish I loved it. I don't. That's super helpful too. Just our gut and how our gut holds, that's our powerhouse, is in our gut. And so, I don't know if I answered the question.
No, absolutely. So if you had to give like an average amount of time for somebody who just started lifting heavy, and I know that's a hard question, for someone who just started lifting heavy, like how long, if you had to put a range on it,
right?
How long do you think for women 40 and up to see an increase in muscle mass on like a body composition test? Well, say they're lifting 3 times a week.
I would guess, just based on what I've seen, I would say no less than 6 months.
Okay.
And there's so many factors that go into that too. The other thing that I was really glad to hear you did is creatine. As soon as I started taking creatine, all of a sudden people are like, "Oh, dang, look at those arms!" I'm like,
show.
So, have you read Good Energy? I have it right here.
Stuff down. Good Energy.
By Dr. Casey Means.
I haven't heard of it.
Oh my God. Do you know who Casey Means is, first of all? Erin! You are about to thank me, girl. Erin. Oh, yes. If you love Dr. Sims, you are going to just jive with Casey Means.
Okay. So is there any way to get around macro tracking for those that just, are terrible?
Yeah, there really is. Which this is like, it's such a free thing to be able to go. It is free. First of all, it's free. But it's also like a freeing thing. Is like whenever we're talking like proteins, carbs, fats, we're still talking about the same thing. It's just we don't have to have our phones. We don't have to like take a picture. We don't have to measure. We don't have to figure. We don't have to do all that. We can let that go. But yes, there is a guide, and God is so good that he literally has given us a built-in guide, and it's right here. It's in our hand, our palm, our thumb, our cup, and our fist. And it's like our palm. So everybody's palm size is according to their body and what their body requires, right? So like my palm size is different than Jason's palm size, husband, or my 10-year-old's palm size. Like, so if we can get 1 to 2 palm sizes, and this, I say 1 to 2, that can be like, oh, so you're talking 1 or 2, that's literally double. It's like, depends on your activity. It depends on what your body's demanding. So 1 to 2 palm sizes of protein per meal. So if you look at your plate and you're like, okay, that's 1 to 2. Okay, that's a great estimate, right? Thumb size. This is our fats. I sometimes wish our fats were palm size. I choose the palm, but no, unfortunately, it's our thumb. So we have 1 to 2 thumbs per meal, which I look at my almond butter intake and I have a lot more.
You don't have
Okay, so then let's talk carbs. So if we take a cup of our hand, so what can ever fit in the cup of our hand? Again, 1 to 2 cups of our hand. That's going to be our carbs. This is the one that everyone hates. All of my nutrition clients, my family, our fist. We should have fist size of vegetables.
every meal.
Yes.
1 to 2 or 1?
1 to 2.
You know,
Yeah.
I've heard the palm, but I've never heard all the other ones. That is so good.
Yeah.
Feels
Yeah.
so good.
Yeah, it's super helpful. Yeah.
Okay, so last but not least, abs. So I had a subscriber comment and say, all the exercises in the world and my stomach is still not going down. Are
Yeah.
there best possible exercises specifically aimed at that or any other ideas? And I know hormones plays a part in this.
Huge. I would say, listen, I don't have a 6-pack by any means. I never have. However, I now feel very comfortable running with my shirt off and putting on a 2-piece, which I haven't felt, if ever, in my life for the first time. And it's like, I'm 44 years old. Why is this happening now? I mean, grateful. At least it's not the opposite. It's not in the past. So I would say hormones play a major factor because I have been in that where it's just like everything is swollen. Plus, it's like times of the month. That makes a big deal too. There's times that I'm like, all right, this is not so cozy. And then there's times that it is. So that makes a difference. Okay, so here's the thing. We could go to YouTube. We could go to all the apps. We could go and do all the ab workouts. You can go and research that and find it. What I would say is when I am the most sore, which is crazy, is when I am doing pull-ups, because you don't realize how much you have to like engage to pull that up. But then also just doing or lifting, like whenever you're doing it and you're doing it correctly, that's the other piece of it. When you're doing a front squat, back squat, whatever, when you stop, take a breath, engage your stomach, you are engaging all of those muscles that you would do in a sit-up. Same thing. Then you have that bar, then you go down and you hold it, and you stand. That core work is going to be working those abs without doing a sit-up.
Yeah.
Do sit-up for days. Go ahead. But I have found that my little abs that are, 44 and 3 kids later that are there, that is probably the best exercise, is just really being super intentional about your bracing, which is going to be super helpful for long-term with our back, just keeping everything nice and solid. So when we're doing, you can literally feel it. Like whenever you if you're like having a light and you go down, it's like, okay, everything's kind of flimsy. When you brace, hold it, you're like, oh, punch me. So whenever you think like, okay, if I have someone stand in front of me before I do a back squat, if I have someone come up and punch me in the gut, that's the kind of brace that we're talking about.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing with doing pull-ups. It's that same bracing, same thing that's happening. So, other than, yes, doing all the ab exercises, making sure we're bracing ourselves, even picking up groceries.
Yeah.
Picking up children.
Well, even just sitting right here,
now.
Like I could just be back rested or I could be back kind of like core engaged.
Yes.
And I love that you brought that up about squats and stuff. Cause I haven't done this many squats and things with barbells my whole life. And every time I do it now, I'm like, oh, everything's engaged. Like this, I'm doing it the right way, I think.
Yes.
So,
yes. Yeah.
So yeah, no, that's good. Good advice.
Yeah. Honestly, that's what I would say is just, you can do. We did a little ab workout yesterday that we were doing, like the bicycle crunches and the planks, and we did all that. And sure, like, I'm like, oh, okay, all right, can kind of feel that. But I feel it more when I do pull-ups.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So much for your time.
Of course.
And just so generous with it and being encouraging. So
yes,
6 months, man. I think 6 months is good to shoot for. I'm not quitting. I just, in my brain, I thought, surely
after 3 months, surely. And I told him, I just wanted to at least see like a 5% increase in muscle. And Fred goes, Erin, that's a lot.
A lot.
Really?
It is. It's a lot. Plus the thing that you're like, oh, and I guess I did lose a few inches. Like, that's why it's like.
I think I lost either an inch or an inch and a half off my waist, and then an inch off my hips.
Okay, girl, listen to me. Those are the things that the scale can't tell us.
I know.
They can't tell us those things. That's why whenever we're looking for measurements, we can't just look at the scale. We can't, but you just can't look at your fat mass. You can't just look at your muscle mass. Like, yes, those are things to long-term achieve, but we have to look at how are we handling life?
Yeah.
Are you handling life better? Do you have more energy? Those are the other factors that like
way better because I'm not starving every day.
Right. Yes.
You're ticked off.
Yes. Yeah. So I keep it up, girl. I promise. And if you can see this as a long-term thing, like here's the deal. People ask like, why do you work so hard? And I'm like, I have a 15-year-old son that is trying to kick my butt and he still can't.
I love it.
And someday, hopefully a long time from now, I will have grandchildren that I want to like do things with and then be like, dude, my grandma, she kicks my butt.
You should see her do pull-ups.
Yes, because I have a mom that is amazing and does things that like, I'm like, man, I hope when I'm 75, I can, like, yes, she'd be like, oh, you just smoke me. It's like, okay, yes, but mom, hello. Every day during the winter, you're walking 14 miles a day.
Wow.
I have to prepare when I go to visit her because I hurt. My knees hurt, my hips hurt, my back hurts. She just keeps going like a little Energizer bunny. And I'm like,
grandma, I want to be.
You see? And I'm telling you, so if you can maybe look beyond the 3 months, the 6 months, what are the actual long-term goals that you're looking at? Like, are you looking at, like, I don't know. It's just, if we can think, it's kind of like our spiritual wellness too. Like, yes, we need to pay attention today, worry about today, but we also need to have an eternal perspective. Like, and that drives our decisions for today and our thoughts for today when we can focus on the eternal. Yeah. And I think that not just goes for our spiritual health, but it also goes for our physical.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I said recently somewhere, it's just kind of the idea that, it's really about being stronger, longer, not skinny quicker.
No.
And so it's definitely not something I expected to come out of this video, that I would have to have this like kind of just like processing of this, because I just thought there would be a result and I would be able to show it. And when I realized there wasn't a result, and I was like, I have to make a video basically about no results. And then Fred's like, stop.
No, it's a journey,
it took
girl.
a few hours, and then I got over myself. But
I know. No, I know. I hear you. I know. I've been there, girl. I know. Like, I work so stinking hard. And it's like, there's times when I don't reach the goal that I set before myself, or I plateaued. And I'm like, are you kidding me? But then it's like, okay, what did I learn along the way? Yeah. And you're learning so much.
I am. And it's been so fun. And the community of women that is kind of rallying around the same goals and stuff has been so fun. And so, yeah.
And I think what you just said is a bigger deal than I think we give it credit for.
Yeah.
The community we have around us, the support we have around us, and that's why I'm so grateful to be going through my 40s with other women that are also in their 40s. Some of them have gone before, some are coming behind me, and I'm giving a heads up, flags up, guys, like, this is what you have coming at you.
Yeah.
And I'm so grateful to have that, because like, there's days when I have to pick someone up, and there's days when someone is picking me up, and it's important to have that. That's for sure.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
After my conversation with Kamille, I took a step back and I realized the results are there. They're just not always where we expect. What has changed is I recover faster. I'm lifting more. My energy is way more stable. I feel stronger and less jiggly. My workouts feel good instead of draining, and I really, really look forward to them. And you know, I had a recent revelation and I shared it in a short, but when our motivation changes, which for a lot of us over 35, over 40, our motivation is going to change. It should now be about being stronger longer, not just getting skinny quicker. So when our motivation changes, our expectations have to change. It's not going to be a 6 weeks to bikini ready type of scenario anymore, ladies. It is about stronger, longer. It's about feeling good, not just looking good. And you know what? You gotta love that body you've got. I've gotta love these thighs. These thighs have carried me my entire 43 years on this earth. So here's what I'm doing next. I am a week and a half into taking momentous creatine, and I'm seeing how that helps with muscle gain, just doing 5 milligrams a day. And I do have the link to that below. I'm not quitting, okay? I am adjusting. I'm adjusting my expectations. I'm adjusting my workouts a little bit. So as soon as I ended intermediate, I started Power Happens Advanced. And for those of you who keep asking me how I've enjoyed the program, I've got to really enjoy it to not even take a week off in between ending intermediate and starting advanced. So I jumped right into Power Happens Advanced. I just started my second week, and I am adding a little bit of treadmill or outdoor walking time after my workout in the morning, maybe like 10-ish minutes, as well as doing some more walks at night, because if you've seen my I walked 20K steps in a day every day for a month video that I did last year, like I do enjoy walking, and I used to do a lot of it, and I do typically slow down a little bit in the summer. Like right now it's just like 95 to 100 outside in South Carolina. So I am trying to get back to more walking, at least at night, and like I said, after my workouts in the morning.
I'm also trying to get out of my comfort zone a little bit more with my sprint interval training and using my rowing machine as well as my treadmill more.
And I'm just going to continue doubling down on what's working. Heavy lifting, sprint interval sessions, and eating about 1 gram of protein per body weight every day. This is not about the Power Happens program. This is not about that program not being effective, because I believe 100% it's the most effective program that I could probably be doing right now. It's really about my age. And, you know, we just have to come to accept that. I'm okay with that. I don't complain about that. It might have surprised me a little bit, but I'm accepting that. And so for those of you that do decide to go ahead and try Power Happens program, whether it's beginner, intermediate, or advanced, I do have a link below with 20% off. I loved it so much that I became an affiliate, so you can get 20% off if you join, and there is no expiration date on that. If you've ever felt like you were doing everything right and maybe it just didn't seem like any changes were happening, you're not alone, and it can be normal, and it doesn't have to be this devastating thing. It's still worth it to work on being stronger longer. It's still worth it to eat and fuel your body the way it needs. And you know, as my mom said in my video,
you just can't stop.
I'll be sharing more about what I'm tweaking, all the new things I'm trying, and how Power Happens Advanced goes in the future on my channel. So be sure and subscribe, sign up for my newsletter, and I would love to hear from you in the comments below, because as you know, if you've been around for a little while, all the community on my channel happens in the comments below. So tell me, have you tried Power Happens? Have you been lifting heavier? And how does it feel? What results have you had? Or what kind of mindset shifts have you had to make at this age in life? Although it took me a little bit of processing time when I realized I was discouraged from my test results, I still feel the best I have felt in a very long time, and I'm not going to stop anytime soon. That is all for today. I will see you next time. Bye, friends.